Welcome back to Simbright Fashion Academy YouTube channel for another interesting tutorial. In this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to sew a three-piece skirt with band and elastic. You can see how beautiful this skirt is. It has a train at the back and is well fitted on the hip side. So if this is what you want to learn in this class, I will encourage you to stay till the end of this tutorial to learn how this beautiful three-piece skirt is made. You can also use this method to make your mermaid skirt, as you can see. So please stay tuned to the end of this tutorial to learn more. Thank you. So to start off this tutorial, you will be needing your plain paper like this, and it has to be long to accommodate the skirt length. So the first thing I did was to create a border line. So this border line here, I made my border line at 4 inches, and I ruled a straight line. So I'm using this point to serve as the waistline because we are going to draft the front bodies first. So I'm going to attach a band of 1.5. So that is why I placed my tape at 1.5. So I'm going to take the measurement of my hip at 9 inches. Next I'm going to take is the measurement of my knee. So the actual knee is at 20 inches. I counted 1, 2, 3. So that's how I got 17. Then from the knee, I'm going to take the full length. So the full length of this skirt is actually at 46, but I added 2 inches for hemming and for sewing the upper part with the band. So that is how I got 48 inches. So now from that point I have my hip. I'll come up by 2 inches, 1, 2. That is the upper hip. So we'll be using it to make our accurate connection of the hip to avoid hip bulge. So I'm going to rule my line across like this. I'll rule all my line. So here I have my lower hip and I have my upper hip. So here is the waist line. So now I'm going to start imputing my measurements. Here is the knee line. So the first measurement I'm going to take now is my waist circumference divided by 4. So the waist I'm working with here is 42. And 42 divided by 4 will give me 10.5. So I'll just go ahead and mark 10.5. I'll come over to my lower hip and place my tape at the border line and measure my hip. The hip I'm working with is 48 inches. So I'm going to divide the hip by 4. I have 12. I'll come over to the upper hip. I'll also impute the 12 inches. So just go ahead and connect the upper and the lower hip straight like this. So after connecting it, I'll go ahead and place my pattern ruler from that hip to the waist. Then coming over to the knee, you are going to place your tape on the hip. Take the measurement of your hip, 12 inches, remove 2 inches for the hip. So I'll place it like this. 12 minus 2 will give me 10. So I'm going to mark. So I'll come back with my pattern ruler like this, and I'm going to place it to the hip and to the knee like that. So after that, I'll come over to the hem. So you pick up what you have on the knee, which is 10 inches. Come back to the knee at the border line to the hem. This is my hem. That is the floor length of the skirt. Place your tape there, measure that 10 inches. After that, you can now add your extension as you want. Your extension can be from 4 to 6 inches or 8 inches as you want, but I'll use 6 inches for this extension. So I'm going to connect this. I'm going to connect what I have here now, pointing it toward that extension. So I'll just go ahead and rule my line. So if you have a straight ruler, that will be fine. So you can just use a straight ruler, so you'll be able to get that line. So since I've already started drawing, let me just make it at this point. So this is what our extension is going to look like, and here is the center front, which is going to be on fold. So we are done making the front skirt right now. So the next we want to do is the back skirt. So now you can see we are done with the front piece of this skirt. So like I said, here is only one piece because it's on fold. Now we are also going to use this same pattern to draft the back piece. So we have front and back piece right here. So to draft the back piece, the first thing you are going to do is to make a little mark at the knee line. So I'll just extend this knee line just a little bit. I want it to be prominent because we are going to have our tail run from there. So the first you will be doing for the back is to come in with your contour line. From here on the waist, come in by 1 inch. Once you come in by 1 inch, connect that 1 inch to the upper hip like this. This is the boot contour line, okay, just like we have our zipper line. Then the next you will do is to come over to the knee line and also do what? Mark inwards 1 inch. After you have done that, place your ruler like this. So if you see here, we have the shape of the butt, okay? So after that, you will now come over here and take the measurement of your hip divide by your waist divide by 4. The waist I'm working with here is 42. Divide by 4 is 10.5. So I'll take the measurement from here right now. That becomes the center back, and I'm going to mark 10.5. After that, I'm going to connect this to the hip. So I place it like this and connect to the hip this way, to the upper hip like this. Can you see that? So this will now serve as a replacement of what we have here. Now after that, the next we are going to do, you remember we got 12 inches from the hip here, and I asked you to take away 2 inches, remaining 10 inches. So but this time around, I've already come in by 1 inch. So I'll just mark from here. I'll just go ahead and mark from here my 10 inches. So this is for the back drafting. So you place your pattern ruler like this from the hip and connect it to that 10 like this. So after that is done, the back is ready. So the next thing we want to do is to connect what we have from here. We are going to connect what you have from there into the extension. So I'll just take it this way, like this, like that, till I get that extension. So now I'm going to add my pepper because we have only 4 inches here. So I'm going to make my extension 6 inches also, and also come down by 4 inches here. So let me add pepper here and here. From this knee line right now, from this knee line, we are going to connect to our extension to the hemline. So all I will do is to extend the hemline because I've added my pepper for the extension. So on the hemline, from this center front line, just go ahead and measure 6 inches again, or let me use 8 inches because it's usually wide. So I'll use 8 inches at that point, and then I'll come down by, let me say, by 7 inches. So you can, if you want it longer, you can come down as long as you want. So 7 inches is okay. So at that 7 inches, just rule a straight line that is going to meet the 8 inches extension. So from this point right now, we are going to place our ruler from that point because that is the new hemline for the tail. So I'm going to point it towards, so it's better to use a long ruler for this. So I'm pointing it towards this line, the knee line, like this. So it will just go straight like this into that point. So after connecting it to this point, the next you are going to do is to place your pattern ruler like this. So we are going to make a sort of, or you can freehand it. So from this point you are connecting to this point, so I'll just freehand it. I like to make it not too narrow. I like to make it curve this way. Can you see that? So let it just curve. So I'll add pepper here, so I'll be able to curve it well the way I want. So I'll just put my pepper and curve it well. So I'll do that now. Then we are done with the skirt, as you can see. So we are going to cut the skirt right now. So we'll be cutting the back piece. This is the back piece. So the part that I'm going to place now, my scissors mark, is the back piece. So wherever I have this scissors mark, I'm going to cut it. Okay, so we are going to cut it. So I'll show you how we can still achieve the front when we are done cutting. So I'm going to, since we have back and front right here, so I'm going to shade the parts that we are going to cut off. So just come to the center front here, right center front, center front. Okay, so once I cut it off, I will know is the center front. You know, we have to do this together. So for the back, this is the back. We are going to cut the back and cut on fabric, then bring here this one and join back for the front. So just go ahead and do this. So you can see my scissors marking. So I'm going to save this part I wrote center front and center front. We are going to join it back to the skirt after we are done cutting. So I'm cutting the tail part of this dress right now. Then I'll come over to the back. This is the back. So wherever you have the scissors marking, just go ahead and cut the scissors marking. Okay, you can discard that other one because we already have our front. So like here, I told you I added pepper to make it a little more rounded. So the back is ready. I'll place it on fabric now and cut. So this is what the skirt looks like. After I'm done cutting it, you can see I added 0.5 inch on the waist and I added 1 inch on the sides of the skirt. So right now we'll use the same pattern to cut the front. Here is the skirt. So I added 0.5 and 1 inch on the sides. Okay, so I made a notch on the center back for the knee line. Just make a notch on your center back. That will differentiate it from the side. So I'll just go ahead and take off my pattern and remove the skirt. So we are going to keep it. So this skirt is dartless. That's why I did not add that. So if you want to add that, from the center front, just measure your nipple to nipple and create your dart for the back at 5 inches length, okay? And for the back at 5 inches and front 6 inches. So we are going to bring back the pattern I told you about, not to discard. Remember, this was the center front, and that is the only part we want to add back. So this is the, if you remember, I have center front. So I'll just go back and gum it back. I'll use my seal tape and secure it so we can still have our full front pattern. Let me do. So here you can see I've joined it back, so we still have our center front again. So I will now cut the back, the front piece. So I'll cut it on the center front line. So you can see I'm cutting straight. So the center front is going to be on fold. So for the center front, I'm going to cut all the way from here. So here you can see my pattern, as you can see right there. So I have to cut on the front piece we drafted first. So you have to cut it into the 2 inches we came in and cut all the way to the hem. So at the end of the day, we have come back to our first drafting. So if you take the measurement from here, hip is 10.5. Sorry, waist is 10.5. Hip is 12. Lower hip is 12. Knee is 10. So everything is okay. And we have our 10 inches and our 6 inches extension. So I will use this to cut out the front piece. So here is the front pattern. You can see the pattern is on fold. So I added 1 inch on the side and ½ inch on the waistline. So now I'm going to use this same pattern for front and back to cut the lining. So the first thing I'm going to do is to sew the back skirt. So I have my lining 2 pieces and my fabric 2 pieces right here. So you'll be using a less stretchy fabric for your scuba. I'm working with scuba right here. So you can see the part I notched is the zipper allowance. So I'll just bring in my zipper and place it wherever my zipper falls. So I'll be using a skirt zip. So I'll just place my, you know, we are going to have a band, but the band will have a hook. So just go ahead and place your zip right here. Then I'm going to mark 1 inch and sew the zipper. Let me do that. Zipper, as you can see, I have my zipper sewn right here. So, and I've closed up the down part of the dress. Can you see that? All right. So the next thing you do is to mark out 1 inch, okay, to sew the front and the back. So I'll just go ahead and place the front. You can see the front is 1 piece. So I've marked out my stitching allowance. So I'll just go ahead and stitch close the sides, making it 1 piece. So I'll do that right now. I also did that for the lining as well. So this is how the lining looks like. I left open the parts of my zipper. So I've also marked 1 inch. So I'll go also place this on top of this and stitch close as well. Let me do that, then give it a good press. So I'm done with the skirt. So I'm done shaping it, as you can see right there. So I bring in the lining. So I'm going to place the lining wrong side, the center back where we have the zipper space. I'm going to turn it to meet with what we have here at the center back as well. So I will insert the lining this way. So once I insert the lining, so I've inserted the lining, so you can see here the seam lines are matching for lining and for fabric. So I'll pick up the zipper opening. So here is the zipper opening. I'm going to fold in the 1 inch. I'll fold it as if I've already stitched it, because after stitching, this is what we are going to have. Okay, we are looking for a neat finishing. So I'll open it up this way and hold it, align it appropriately, secure with my pin. So I'll keep securing it with my pin till I get to the end of the zipper. Then I'll follow this stitch with my zipper foot and stitch. I'll repeat the same process for this. I'll also fold in like this and open up from here and secure with my pin. So let me fix the zipper to the lining. So I'm done with the lining. So here I have to stitch the lining together with the skirt. So you can see the zip is looking very neat as well. So the next thing we are going to do is to take the measurement of around your waist. Of course, the waist measurement is 42 inches. So I'm going to sew my band. So here is my band. I'm also using the scuba fabric. So if you want it not to stretch, because the band is not supposed to stretch, just go ahead and lay your hairstay to stabilize the stretchy nature. So next, the bandwidth is 4 inches, because we will sew half an inch up and down, having 3 inches, which was 1.5 inches that we took off when we were drafting. So here my bandwidth is 4 inches and the length of my band is 44. Okay, so the waist is 42, but I added 2 inches to the length of my band because I'm going to fold in here and stitch at 0.5, fold in and stitch at 0.5. So once I'm done with that, I'll be left with 1 inch. So the 1 inch will serve as the zipper overlap. Sorry, it will serve as the hook, the zip hook overlap. So I'll go over now, close here and close here. But first of all, before you do that, I like to find the midpoint. So I'm going to make a mark on my midpoint, up and down. So after that, I'm sure I have the midpoint. Then I'll go and close up half an inch, half an inch. Close the end, as you can see, and I turned it to the right side. I did the same for this side as well. So I'm going to come in with the skirt. So for the skirt, so after closing up the sides, I'm done closing the sides, as you can see. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to open up the zipper, and I'll start from one end to stitch. So I'm going to stitch wrong side to the right side. Just start from one end. Okay, so the 1 inch excess will be on the other end for our zipper overlap. So I'll go and sew at 0.5. So here I've sewn my band, as you can see. So this is it. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to take the measurement from my center front where I notched. I'm going to take my nipple to nipple measurement. So the nipple to nipple I'm working here is 9. Half of it is 4.5. So I'll go ahead and mark 4.5. Then from that 4.5, just take the measurement of what you have to the seam line. So here I have 6 inches. So I'm going to attach my elastic. So this 6 inches, simply add 1 inch to it, making it 7 inches. So whatever you have, add 1 inch. So I still measure from the center front, mark my nipple to nipple. So of course what I have here should be equal, 6 inches as well. So I'll go to the back. You still repeat the same exercise. Measure your nipple to nipple from here, 4.5. So after marking your nipple to nipple measurements, we are going to take the measurement of what we have from here to here and add 1 inch to it. So for me, I've cut out my elastic. My elastic is 1 inch elastic at 7 inches length. So we'll go over to attach each on one side. So for this, I'm going to attach it like this. Pick up the seams and attach it like this. Then you also take it over this way and attach like this. So we are going to secure with our stitches right now. Now I've already folded in 0.5 inch, so I'm going to start top stitching from the beginning right now. So I will keep stop stitching, as you can see right here. So I'll keep stop stitching. So once I get to the point of elastic, I'm going to drag the elastic. So you can see how I'm dragging it. So make sure this part can. So now in this elastic part, I'm going to also place my presser foot at the middle. So I place it at the middle, starting from that point I marked. So make sure you stretch everything, the top stitch, and make a stitch to hold the elastic at the middle. So you can see how I'm sewing and stretching it. So make sure you arrange it very well. So alright, so here I'm done. So you can see what I have. I will be placing my hook, my skirt hook right here. So these are the elastic, looking so beautiful. So I just want to take the measurement of my waist again. So here you can see my waist has actually reduced from 21 to 19 inches. Okay, so by the time I spread it, it holds on my waist line. So thank you very much for coming to this tutorial once again. So I believe you learned a lot from this class. So if you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this every day. Like this video, share to family and friends, drop your comment on the comment section and your suggestions as well. Thank you once again. See you in the next class. Bye.